Hey, all my beautiful, amazing women out there, and anyone else that is listening. This is Fuck It, I'm a Woman. I'm Elizabeth Munoz and my co host Katrina, and we are powered by Soul Haven and the Radiant CEO. My company really works with women to help them reclaim their radiance, regulate their nervous systems, and show up to create the lives of abundance in all areas: health, wealth, purpose, and love, so that they can just live fully and authentically. Katrina, it's up to you now. I hand it
Yeah,
over.
and being your co-host, we're bringing in also within Radient CEO, we're bringing in the CreatHER Method, which is my company. And CreatHER Method is really about embodying what it means to be a woman when it comes to business. So rather than pushing through, we look at capacity-based planning. We look at how do you weave your energy into your business in such a way that we prevent burnout, heal the body, and have a lot of fun in the world of business and bring in abundance. So fuck it, I'm a woman. We are powered by two extraordinary women, and we're excited to have our conversation with you here today. So Elizabeth, we're talking fuck it, I'm a woman today, and there's a lot of stuff both going on in our lives and our businesses. And I thought today would be interesting because at the time of this recording, it is the Chinese New Year. So it is also a day where there is a solar eclipse happening. The only place you can see it, Elizabeth, did you know this? Is actually in Antarctica.
Way.
Yeah, unless you're in Antarctica, you would never even know there was a solar eclipse today. Welcome to my crazy world. How's the
To
energy on your side of the world right now?
well, I'm in Cave Creek, Arizona. So you
Because
know,
you're close to Sedona, so there's got to be some crazy stuff going on over there energetically.
I don't know. It's just really weird because it's so gloomy. There's been very bipolar, and I personally like my I've noticed that my moods are very much affected by the weather. And so when it's gloomy outside, I've noticed that like I need a lot of light, I need a lot of movement, I need a lot of dancing. I Because or else I'll notice like something feels really heavy on me. And I didn't before I had that awareness, I didn't realize what was going on. And now the moment like right away I can see it. And so I'm like, all right, it's gloomy, time to turn on all the lights, time to, dance and move and really try to ground. And but yeah, I energetically can't say I'm noticing anything much out of the ordinary,
Mm.
but for more coherent downloads. Like I'm feeling a lot more in resonance. I'm feeling a lot more aligned, and the visions that are coming through or just the intuitive hits are so much more directional. Just this is where you need to go, this is where you need to be focusing, and so just really leaning into that.
So let's have some fun with this because there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So this episode, ladies, is going to be it's going to be a loop-de-loo, okay? So first off, there today is for anybody that's watching. If you guys are feeling off, as women especially, if you're feeling off, you're feeling like you're getting downloads, if you're feeling tired, this day has a lot of energy, so I kind of expected that. It is Mardi Gras, so for those of that party like a hearty, this is Mardi Gras, which leads before Ash Wednesday. It's Ramadan. It is also numerology wise, it's an 8 year with the Chinese calendar. It is the year of the horse. It is the year of the fire element. There's just a lot of shift. And so this is it's just a really interesting dynamics. That's why I said, like Elizabeth, like, are you feeling anything kind of crazy? Are you notice anything? Because there's just a lot of things going on. The Olympics are also going on. There's like, I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff going on right now in this today, specifically, like cray cray.
First of all, I do want to say, like, for anyone who's out there listening, you are a badass, you are perfect the way you are, and own that shit. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. Whatever season you are going through right now, that is the season that you are supposed to be in. So you just ride it and don't let anyone shame you or guilt you or any of that. That's number one. So, number two, you're the horse. I really want to talk about this briefly
Yes. Okay.
because people think horse and they think, oh, horse, stallion. I'm seeing all these images out there where these horses are running, and no, like horses do not. Do you think a horse would live if it was constantly galloping and galloping and galloping and never ended? No, that is not what happens. Okay. So, like, think horse, think strong, think powerful, but horses don't just live sprinting through life. Like, they literally
We know.
graze the majority of time. Like, and so they sprint when they need to. And then they rest and they take aligned, intentional breaks. And that is exactly what this year is about. Restorativeness, making sure, I don't even know if that's a word, restore,
It is.
okay? Like, but like really caring for yourself and doing all the things necessary to ensure that you are filling your cup, whether that is meditating, whether that is walking outside, whether that is dancing, whether that is connecting with nature, the foods that you're eating, being around people that fill your energy up, like Katrina. So it's like these are the things
So,
that we need to be doing and not being around the ones that are sucking your energy, right? Like
mhm.
so again, when you see a horse, they're not like hanging out by like the sheep, like they're
All
chilling,
right.
grazing.
I'm gonna play with you on this one. Do you know
Yeah,
what your zodiac sign is? Do you know what animal you are?
I am an Aries.
So you're an Aries in the zodiac sign, but
Oh, and
what
I believe
is
I am a pig.
so you're the year of the pig.
Yes.
Okay. What year were you born?
1983. Am I a pig?
I don't know. Are you? We're gonna find out. Yes, you are the year of the pig.
I got it.
You're a good one. That is actually a really, really, really good one. Go look up that one. You are water. Your element is water. You're coming into water in 2 cycles. So each element rotates, air, wind, fire, earth, all rotate. So you actually go through that. So you were born in the element of water and the year of the pig. So what's really cool is that a water pig is smart and adaptable. They're very good at speaking, Elizabeth, right? They're responsible and serious in work, but sometimes too subjective, dependent, and a little stubborn. Oh,
Never.
yes. Most water pigs have a dual personality, and it only takes a minute for them to do the good or the evil because their emotions are easily controlled by others. Water pigs are very responsible and they like to take the action subjectively. Once they're determined to do something, they will go their own way regardless of a lot of difficulties. And tends to be some obstacles along the way. You've got to read this one. This is going to be fun. Um, so you're a pig. So actually, we are in synergy. We're not enemies of each other, which is a crazy thing that I learned about. I am a horse. This is actually my year, which is probably why I'm definitely feeling it.
Beautiful.
So can we have a little bit of fun with this one? Talking
Let
about this. So I had a friend of mine that wrote me like, so the year of the fire horse. So fire only comes around every 60 years. So
wow.
fire meets horse every 60 years. So you'll, as a pig, will meet fire every 60 years. So you only have one chance throughout your cycle to like really embrace the element of fire. Um, the next one will be in 2086. There's a good chance I'll still be alive for that one. Um, so what it is it says the horse is the most independent, restless, freedom-obsessed animal in the Chinese zodiac. It doesn't sit, it doesn't wait, it doesn't ask, is now the right time? When you add fire to it, fire doesn't negotiate, it doesn't send calendar invites, and it doesn't wait for emotional readiness. A fire horse is the most feared energy in the entire 60-year cycle, and you're living it right now. They actually say, according to the Chinese culture, this is the one time where they don't have kids because they absolutely fear a female fire horse in the zodiac signs. I was like, well, that's interesting. So I'm an earth horse, not a fire horse, which I thought was interesting also. During this time, we've all been in the waiting for the right time, waiting to be good enough, waiting to believe that somebody else should do it first, waiting to make your move, waiting for fear to go away. We're waiting for permission. And what we don't realize as horses is that we've been ready. We just haven't been approved. So we're afraid of being seen. That is this year. So it's not fear of failure that many of us are experiencing. It's actually the fear of being seen
Yes.
is what we're bumping up against this year. The moment you move without permission, without consent, without validation, without a safety net of agreement from people around you, you become visible, exposed, and accountable. If someone tells you to do it and you fails, you have somewhere to hide. They say it was a good idea, everyone agrees, but the timing seemed off. But if you decide, if you move, if nobody approves of it and you do it anyways, right? There's no one to blame. So what you're actually afraid of, and this kind of resonate with me, is full ownership. Like
Mhm.
it is you. So the fire horse doesn't understand fear. The horse is the most visible among animal in the zodiac. It stands in open fields, not in caves, and fire is the most visible element. You can see it from miles away. So in terms of your element right now, it's highly visible. So what you're seeing and what we're hearing is a lot of women and especially men saying, this is my time. I feel the energy, like they're stepping up, they're owning their voice. You're going to see a lot of that from a lot of women this year, I think, Elizabeth. There's a lot of women coming into their voice, standing inside their conversation, really owning it. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for everyone.
Yes. And
So,
I call to action there is that this is your time to step
yep.
up, be
So what's
visible, and
interesting,
overcome those fears.
yeah. So what's interesting is when you stop asking for permission, or you stop waiting for a sign, or you wait to make sure you have the right support, or you make sure you're right, you're certain, or you have the right kind of confidence, people actually respect you more when you stop asking for permission.
Yeah, or fuck it. This is your permission. We are giving you permission. Step up,
Yep.
get out there, be seen, own it.
Yep. So the person who moves decisively, who backs their own judgment, who doesn't need commitment to take action, that person commands respect. Not because they're always right, but because they're clearly not outsourcing their life to popular opinion.
Yes.
So there's a lot that's going on, and it's the number 8 year also. So there's a lot of around this. I'm following this gentleman on Twitter for this one. It's a 10-part series as we step into the year of the fire horse. So I'm guessing he's going to go over all the different animals and how this is going to pertain to them this year. So it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. But again, the horse is untamed, stubborn, super stubborn, but apparently so are you, Elizabeth, being a pig. You're also stubborn. So welcome to our stubbornness. But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how 2026 plays out. And what's interesting about the zodiac signs in general, if you haven't been born yet, technically this is the start of the year, but you don't experience the start of your year until the day you're born.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. You're not.
So like I'm still wrapping up my snake year because I technically haven't been born, even though this is the start of it. So you kind of move through like this continuum as we go through it. So it's really interesting to see how this plays out energetically and just with life and business. But I will tell you, I woke up this morning, my parents looked at me like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "You're like deep in thought." I'm like, "I'm just apparently processing a lot of information that I got overnight." And I'm just like, okay. So
Yeah.
there you go.
And for me, I think that a big thing too is don't pigeonhole yourself either. Like sometimes we can get so caught up in labels and what this, because there's so many different astrological and from all over the world, and we have the Vedas. And so it's just like really
Play with it.
take this as exactly as informational, and what works for you and what doesn't, let it go. Like you don't
Hmm.
have to be super rigid, like I'm living my life by this. These are meant to be guides for us, not we are the divine essence and being, and we are the ones that get to choose and decide how we show up and what's next for us. So don't get caught up in what you're being told you have to do or what's gonna happen either. I think
Yeah.
a big part of that.
I totally agree with that. I think and this is why I always kind of check different sources. This is why I play within like the Catholic faith, I play within the astrology, I play within the numerology, because I think what fascinates me is I'm looking for the connection. Like, where do things bump up
Align.
against each other or align in there? And so I don't discount any of it, but I'm always super just curiously playful around, what does this look like? And then, at the end of the day, like you said, Elizabeth, I'm responsible. Our listeners responsible. Did you take an action today? Did you rest today? Did you, sit with yourself in silence? And I think that's one of the big things, like you were talking about. So often as women, even as fuck it, I'm a woman, we don't stop. We're
Yeah.
literally in constant motion. And I think what's crazy is just like a stillness. Like, what does stopping without any intent or person and just being still feel like? It's crazy, but it's so powerful.
And I think that actually is needs to be with intent. So
Mm,
it's like not just stopping, but taking intentional breaks.
yeah.
Because taking a break, like getting up and walking away from your computer when you literally are beating your head into the computer, like for those of you who work from home, or, even if you don't work from home, if you're sitting there and you're beating your head into the computer and the idea is not coming to you, guess what? It's not meant to come to you in that moment. Get up and walk away. but don't go like Netflix it out or mindlessly scroll online. Like take an intentional break. Go sit somewhere, go walk and just be with yourself. Don't put headphones on, like just be and think like, okay, what needs to come through for me right now?
Mm,
And that is what I have been really, it has shifted everything for me is intentional breaks and moving my body with intention. And
yeah.
so not just like, oh, I'm going to go for a walk. Like, no, let me put on this 3 song dance sprint and I'm just going to dance and I'm not going to stop. And then whatever happens after that, then so be it. But it's like, because the first song normally just kind of gets you, but once you get through like the second song and the third song is like, you're like, yes, like you
Yes.
feel it move through your body. You're just like, ah, I got this. And then you can go and sit with yourself because sometimes we just need to move and then we can rest and relax and just sit and then sit down at your computer and see what comes through. And
Yeah.
that thing, having that awareness around the things that are getting us stuck, right? And so how can we move through those cycles? And I think that it's so important for us, especially like I said, with the horse,
We do stop.
yeah, we
We actually, if I think one of the things is that in any things, it's just every animal stops, every animal slumbers, every animal takes a moment just to be present around him. So it's like that, we get caught up in a lot of different things around, beliefs and everything else, but that pause is critical. Like you can't run full gallop for the whole life. Like you'll be dead before you get through year two. Like,
you can't.
no.
And what's crazy is I was telling my mom, have you ever had a pet, like a dog or something, and you put them in a kennel or seen a dog in a kennel, and then overnight and you let them out? What is the first thing that animal does?
Gets excited and happy.
No, prior to that,
Bees.
nope, they stretch.
They
They
do.
won't do anything else until they stretch.
That's true.
And if you've seen a baby, any newborn baby, when they first wake up, the
Stretches.
first thing they do is stretch. And yet, somehow, as adults, we have disconnected so much from our bodies that we roll out of bed and just get up and go. Like, and
We
then
do.
we wonder why things hurt, why we're, feeling some type of way, why we have stiffness or soreness. Like, we literally have become so detached from our bodies, and awareness and intentional breaks, intentional movement are all about reconnecting to our body, rebuilding that trust. And really, that's what needs to happen for anything like when we want to progress, when we want to move forward in our businesses, in our personal lives, anything. It all starts with reconnecting with our bodies, like, and having that, building that trust again, where we listen to ourselves. And
Yeah.
especially as women, we desperately need that.
We don't trust our bodies as women. We've been taught to actually mistrust our bodies. I mean, we've talked this on previous episodes also, but I thought it was interesting. I was at a conference recently and I did a workshop and I was like, pussy. And the look on people's faces, like I can't even say that. With women, we can't even say that word.
Word.
Like, why are we struggling to say what our own anatomy is, what our own construct is? Like, if we can't use our language safely, then our body never recognizes that we're a safe place to be. Because we can't
Yeah.
even use our own language to describe like our vagina, our vulva, our boobs, breasts. Like, if we can't say that and look at it, how is our body ever going to know it's safe?
Yeah, yeah. It's like again that disconnection, right?
It's
It's really
crazy.
interesting. I so my daughter, she's 7, right?
Hmm.
And every day I do practices with all my kids, not just my daughter, about what they're so on the way to school, we talk about what they're grateful for. And then for waking up, like what are the things you're grateful for? And then give me 3 specific things that happened yesterday. So now I'm having them recollect specific things they're grateful for. And then I ask them, what are acts of kindness that you witnessed? So when I pick them up from school, it's like, hey, give me 3 acts of kindness. So one that someone did for you without you asking, one you did for someone else without them asking, and one that you witnessed someone do for someone else. So now
Mm,
I'm continuously building their awareness to focus on the good things and acts of kindness versus on negative, right? Because there's enough
brilliant.
bad things going on in the world. And so then what I will do is I'll ask them like, hey, where does your joy come from? Your joy, because I teach my kids that their joy comes from within. They have to pull that from within because if our joy comes externally, and we're always, hear me carefully when I say this, if your joy is motivated by external factors, the moment that external factor is gone, you no longer have joy. So it is okay to be in a relationship where that person adds to your joy, but they cannot be the source of your joy. The source of your joy must come from within, and you got to do whatever the hell necessary to make that happen. If it's not happening right now, you got to make it happen. And again, we've talked about this before, but mirror work is a beautiful way to start that. Just looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you love yourself and complimenting yourself and tying that to a positive emotion. But somebody commented and said about me telling my daughter, like, I want to hear you say it proud, like, say it louder, like, where's your joy come from? And someone commented saying, oh, someone saved that poor child. And the reason I bring it up is because someone saved that poor child because I am teaching her every single day to own her brilliance, own her radiance, and that her joy comes from within her so that no one can take her joy. Well, you know what? I would say, I'm really, really, really sorry and sad that no one taught you that,
How to have joy.
how to have joy,
How
and
to
that we
have
all
joy.
need to step up and realize that. Again, I go back to our joy. When we as women are empowered and we own our radiance and our joy, we become a sunrise, not a spotlight. Spotlight only shines a light on what they're focused on, and a sunrise, for one, and if someone else steps into that spotlight, it's taken. We're competing for it. Where a sunrise, there is, we radiate light for everyone that's ready to step into it, and there's room for all of us in it.
Yep.
So that is what we learn when joy comes from within us.
Yeah, and I think that's such a big piece as you and I continue to talk with women, to work with women specifically, is how many of us are disconnected from our own joy. We just don't know what brings us joy. I think throughout, like I've worked with women at different stages, some of them become empty nesters and they don't know what their joy is anymore. And they're looking for a business, they're looking for this, they're looking for something. And at the end of the day, they just don't know what brings them joy. Like, so we've forgotten it. We got into motherhood, we got into career woman, we got into everything else. And the experience of joy, I think we have to shelf it. I was talking with one lady, she's like, God, if I could just get back into ballet again. She's like, it was even as an adult, she's like, just basic classes. I'm like, what's stopping you from being in that joy while you're building business? Well, I don't have time. That's actually the biggest lie. Because if you made time to do with your joy, your business, your family, yourself would all expand
Yeah.
exponentially in so many ways because you're filling your cup first, taking care of yourself as a woman, doing what brings you pleasure, and I think that is where we've been misguided is that we have to put off pleasure until we achieve a goal. We have to put this off. We have to wait till, and then we can have, right? And then the
Yeah.
opposite is for women. I feel like you and I both know if we're not taking pure joy first, then everything else is going to suffer.
Yes. And you know what's interesting about that is the I don't have time or making time. It's what I've learned in developing time awareness from having
Hmm.
complete time blindness, right? Is that it is about, it's not about, we all have the same amount of time in a day, right? What you learn to do is trade time. So what
Mm.
you do is like, okay, in this time, I would normally do this thing. But this thing is actually going to bring me more joy. And I will say, everyone's out there looking for their purpose. Do you know what your purpose is? Your purpose is to live life with joy.
Joy,
And
pleasure, and
everything
joy.
else, like all your other purpose, like purpose-driven initiatives can change.
Yeah.
But your purpose is to live a life of joy and pleasure. And with that, everything else falls into alignment.
Yeah.
Because when you are truly joyful and you truly have pleasure in your life, you are magnetic and you are aligned and you download and you are in flow and everyone can feel it. You radiate that outward. So it's just like, come on. So again, it's about, hey, how can, like, I get up and I know everyone, oh, I'm not a morning person or this and that, but like I've trained myself to get up at like
Mm.
3:40, 4 a.m. And that allows for me to do anything that I feel like doing in the morning before I need to get my kids situated and ready for school, which allows me to intentionally, because we are not robots, we are not mindless, we are conscious beings who are evolved, and we get to choose with intention. Guess what? When my kids get up, I'm going to wake them up in a good way, not yelling at them. I'm going to walk in that room, I'm going to put on a song, and no matter what comes at me, because my daughter is pleasure in the morning. And so I go in there and I'm just loving on her. No matter what comes out of her mouth, I am just loving on her. And guess what? At some point it shifts and then she's happy and then she's joyful. And before I would get really frustrated and whatnot. But what I'm saying about all that is like, I've chosen to make my add time to my morning. So it's, hey, what one thing can you do that you can shift, like, or you can trade that time for and prioritize this thing because it's going to fill your cup. And then you do that. And so now it's like you're just replacing one thing with the other, but this thing is the thing that is going to make you bring you joy internally. And so,
Well,
yeah,
and I will say this too, just to kind of add on into this, right? So it's an add-on, it's not a takeaway from. So as women, because we're cyclical in nature, right? We actually work through a 28-day cycle, not a 24-hour cycle. One of the things I often hear from women that start to embrace it and start to understand their cycle, they're like, okay, so I'm working on my business, I'm high level thinking, but I've got this certification program to do, and I want to do, this also. And I said, well, high level thinking, that is your brilliance. Stay in your first 7 to 10 days looking at that. I said, use your luteal phase or your heading into the whole moon phase to use that energy to, complete your certification programs, do the basic little tying up of training and everything else. Like that's your learning and absorption phase, but that's not your you should never do that in your high creativity phase. The other thing that I've noticed was I've started working with women that are really embracing it, even myself, is scheduling those days off, Elizabeth, right? Like saying these 2 days, they're completely me days. There are times that I disconnect from being a wife, I disconnect from being a mom. Not that you're trying to like separate that, but you're saying this is me time and I'm choosing this. And you talk to your spouse, you talk to your kids, you start to explain what's going on. You may take an hour for the first time because you've never experienced an hour of your own personal time, right? To Elizabeth's point, go out for a walk. Don't put your earbuds in. Literally just be one with nature, like experience yourself, right? Feel
yeah,
your hands move. Feel if there's a wind. Feel if there's sunlight. Feel how your clothes feel against your skin. Like it come almost like a
like
mindfulness.
yourself.
Yeah, hug yourself, right? Touch yourself, everything else. Like those are the things that have been really interesting that when we do pause and take that moment to refill our cup, everything around us expands and is grateful for us for doing that. And I
Yeah,
think that's the piece. It's like it's not an this or it's an and
yeah,
choosing yourself first as a female and saying this is my time, this is how I'm going to work within my flow and learning and understanding that because every woman is a little different as I'm discovering. Once you find your flow, honor that and then make requests.
yeah,
You're a
yeah.
woman. You don't think the world bows down to you? Mother is like the ultimate, right? Like everybody's born to a mother. Trust me when I say mother rules all. Nobody bows down to Mother Nature. Mother Nature bows down to nobody. So think about that, ladies. I'm challenging you. That's where I'm going.
Yes, and
And,
taking it full loop
ooh,
is all about reconnecting with our bodies and learning to trust our bodies again. And it all stems from being disconnected from our bodies because since we are children, we are taught to not you're doing this or you're doing that or you're being too much. Don't be too showy. You're a young lady. Don't be climbing trees. Don't be blah 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 blah. And so it's like, or if a girl, so this amazing, amazing, amazing human that I know, she was talking about her daughter, and she was talking about her daughter, how her daughter is so, 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 so feminine. And she's just like, really taught me because I grew up very much in my masculine. Like that's how I grew up. I had to be. And so in my house, it wasn't acceptable to be, a woman. Like, and so for me, I had to be tough. I had to be one of the guys, and that's how I grew up. And so having a daughter, like for me, my daughter is very much all of it. Like she's super girly, but she's super like does backflips and climbs trees and just does all of it. And I feel like she's very much, or I was very much like that, but I was prohibited.
mm,
And so there's a difference where I'm just embracing all of it and just letting her play full on out who she is. And so there's no confusion or conflict.
yeah.
And but it is about seeing how some women are just so 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 feminine, and that is a beautiful thing, and we should be encouraging it and allowing them to embrace it and not trying to dim it because we need all of it. And I think that that's just, it's so pivotal. But at the end of the day, like really doing whatever necessary to reconnect with your body, learn to
Yeah.
trust yourself again, and love all because you're freaking amazing.
Yeah. I'm gonna just say one last thing before we wrap up this episode because this has been fun, right? There have been women that I've met in my lifetime that are ultra feminine, and I wasn't turned off. I think I was like, it wasn't intimidated. It's like I wanted that and I had no idea how to get it.
Yep.
Right. But so it was like I was standoffish to them or I was uncomfortable around them because they were ultra feminine. And I was like, I don't know how to be or have that. And it feels awkward or I don't know how to access what these beautifully feminine women are doing. So there was this sense you kind of like turn your back to, or you like resent them or there's stuff. But that was me trying to figure out how to tap into my feminine because I didn't know how to become more feminine. Like, where do you go to school? Where to be female?
Here on Fuck It, I'm a Woman.
Right?
That's where. This
Yeah.
is it, ladies. This is where you go to school to be more feminine.
Yeah. Like
And all of
that's
it, shit, whatever it is, the good, bad, the ugly, we are here for it.
yeah. Like, how do you tap into feminine if you've never experienced being a female?
By
Which
talking
is
to some
crazy when
pussy.
I say that out loud. So that'll be our next
Hey,
episode. So we'll
girl, how
dive
are
into
you
that.
today? Just saying.
Yeah.
It.
Yeah. So there you are. That's it. Fucking I'm a woman. Stick around because it's about to get more entertaining as we go. So, Elizabeth, any last words before we wrap up this episode?
Uh, I love you. And our disclaimer, if any of this rubbed you the wrong way, just take a second look, take a step back, and just be with it.
Shake your boobs. Have a good time. We'll see you.